Well, Kristin Chenoweth, what are you doing? I can't believe you're here in Boston.
I love it here.
Welcome
Maria.
to our city. We are so happy that you are doing this show here.
Thank you. I'm so happy to finally be here. We've been working on the show now for almost 4 years. Wow. So it's happening.
So how does it feel to be a Bostonian for the summer?
Amazing. You know, when the producer, I'm one of the producers with Bill Damashki, but when Bill, our lead producer, came to me and said, where in your dream would you like to premiere this show? World premiere it. Chicago, San Francisco, Boston. I said, stop right there. Boston.
Really?
First of all, there's a love of the arts here. Not also in Chicago and San Fran for sure, and San Diego and all of them. But there's a love for the arts like I've never seen. I've come here through the years. I've done a Boston Pops televised concert of my own. I come here and sing with the symphony a lot over the years. I've learned a lot here. I love the history. I love the people. I love the food. I just find it, if you're going to be away from your home, and mine is New York, and I live in Nashville too, but it's the perfect place to be.
Yes. That's why I moved here.
I get it.
Right?
Yes.
Like, having been a New Yorker, it's like, it's very accessible, but it's got everything you need. And you're right, there is a love for the arts and food and entertainment, and we got it all.
They're so kind without being annoying. Like, I was taking a workout class the other day. A couple of the women after the thing said, we're all come to see the show. We don't mean to be weird, but we're coming. Just like classy.
So unimpressed though also, right?
Oh yeah, just like we can't wait to see you.
Yeah, like love you, you're great, but you know what I mean? We've got business to
we've
tend
got
to.
our own lives.
Yes.
But also, like our crew here at the Colonial, I just have to brag on them for a minute, you know. I come with some Broadway snobbery. I'm just being honest. You know, some of those crew members are just hard to beat. This crew is Broadway caliber. They are incredible.
Well, this is my first time at the Colonial, and I walked in and I said, "Oh, we're in Versailles."
Doesn't
I mean,
it
it
look
is
like
absolutely perfect. I don't know if you put all those pieces together when you were picking your dream spot. But talk about this theater for this show. We walked in.
I got here a day early before the cast, and I walked in and I like almost cried because, you know, we've built an amazing set. It's incredible, but when you walk in and your lobby supports it, the walls and the actual theater support it.
Yes.
The balcony supports it. You just feel like it's a God thing. I call them God wings. It's like he went, there you go, Kristin. But our cast is beside themselves. In fact, F. Murray Abraham, who is my co-star, he said, I wish we could move this theater for our Broadway run into New York.
I love to hear that. Okay, so let's talk about this show, The Queen of Versailles. So, I watched the documentary last night, and I have been going down a rabbit hole ever since. So, tell everyone who isn't familiar with the premise what they can expect.
Well, our show is based on a documentary movie by the wonderful Lauren Greenfield, and it was in 2007. It is about the Siegel family, the Jackie and David Siegel. They are building the largest private home in America, which happens to be in Orlando, Florida. And when the documentary starts in 2007, things are going along. It's, 90,000 square feet. And the stock market crashes. And a lot of things have to stop.
I mean, this house was going to be bigger than the White House.
Yes.
Just unbelievable, massive proportions.
They have a Benihana in there. They have a pub from England there, flown in, a spa, a bowling alley, a pool, all of the things, and it all had to stop. And so our show in Act 1 deals with a lot of what they dealt with in the documentary. In Act 2, it takes the cameras are gone, and it takes a different direction.
I was wondering how you were going to handle that, because after I saw the documentary, it goes from their riches to rags. And then I was left going, well, now what?
Well,
what happens to them?
I think, Maria, the reason I was interested in this to begin with, when Stephen Schwartz and Michael Arden called me, and they told me to watch the documentary, I said, I've seen it. I'm trying to figure it out. And then they told me the concept. It's really a story, a cautionary tale on how all of us would handle the kind of wealth that we can't imagine. and then add on top of that newfound fame. We all think how we would handle it, right?
Yeah.
But we don't know how we would handle it. And then it deals with tragedy. They have some tragic things that happen in their life
Yes.
with their family.
Yes.
And how does that money and wealth and fame handle that? And look, I have gotten to know Jackie and the Siegel family. I love them.
Wow.
They handle things their way, and it's not for me to judge, it's for me to observe and say, how would I handle it? How would I do it? And I think that's what the audience will do.
Yeah. Now, how is it to play the role of someone who is
Alive.
who is a part of this in some way and will probably be in the audience?
Oh, she
Right?
will be. She will be. I want her to be happy with it. But, they have lent us their life rights, and we are telling their story, good, bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
And because I have such love for her, I'm very aware of that. But I also need to be true to their story. That being said, I'm not doing an imitation. I've hopefully captured her spirit, and this is more of a based on, but it is definitely, I keep calling it a cautionary tale because that's the way I view it.
Yeah. I mean, it's the American dream, but it's relatable. We could scale it down to what most of us are working with, that you could wake up tomorrow, it could all be gone.
Beautifully said.
Right? And even with COVID, right? Everything we thought we knew.
And it shut down our world.
Just like their bubble burst.
Yes.
Financially, our bubble burst in so many other ways.
That's right.
So,
and a thing that's so attractive about her, personally, is that she is a survivor. And this is a woman that came from very meager, humble beginnings, has it all, loses a lot in other things that cost her spirit, heart.
Yeah.
So as a mother, I'm not a mother, but I mother a lot of kids.
Yeah.
I am a mother, and I can imagine what she's dealt with.
Yeah.
I can imagine. So I admire her, and some audience members might go, why would you say that? Because I see the whole picture, and I've seen the survivor. And any woman that survives stuff, rich or poor, I'm going to have some admiration.
Well, I found her to be pretty complex when I watched the documentary.
Bingo.
Because I had an impression of her going into it that she was going to be a certain type of way.
And she's not.
And then I found out she's from Binghamton, she's from upstate New York, she was an engineer, she's
At
a
IBM.
smart woman.
She's not dumb.
And then she has gone through all these different things. So I would think as an actor, that's like juicy.
It's juicy, it's complicated in the best possible way. These are the kinds of roles that we look for.
Yeah.
And, when it all happened and I signed, because I had other decisions to make. I was considering doing a couple of other Broadway shows, but there was really only one part for me because of the complication of her. And also, I'm not saying I'm uncomplicated. I'm just saying maybe sometimes I'm not a walk in the park. I think if you're breathing, you're probably...
People would beg to differ, I think.
I think there is this conception, just like Jackie, that everything is rainbow, unicorn, that I toot glitter, all the stuff.
I think
But
in
no.
the dictionary next to Kristin Chenoweth is I toot glitter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People do assume that it is always like that, but
not.
I've known you over the years and I
Yes.
followed you and I know you've had a lot.
Yes.
And is it hard to sometimes put that away when you go on stage? Because you've got to perform
Yes.
every night and be that girl that the fans are expecting.
Yes, because there's somebody in the audience that's never seen a Broadway show.
Yeah.
Or some girl or boy that has traveled from Alabama, Oklahoma.
Binghamton.
Who has come to see maybe me or Murray, and we want to be at our best.
Yeah.
So I have gotten good over the years at compartmentalizing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I know you work with a lot of children.
Yes.
And you have your summer camp in the
Yes.
summer and everything, and you're such a mentor to them. My daughter just got started with theater, and she's really into it. She's in her 9th show.
How old is she?
She's 10.
Oh, awesome. She has to come to Kristin Chenoweth Broadway Boot Camp.
Yes.
When she's 13, she can audition.
Well, I was going to bring her to work with me today, right? Because
Wow.
she's at a theater camp.
Why
And I
isn't she
said,
here?
Grace, I'm interviewing an icon legend, Kristin Chenoweth. You know her from Wicked and all these things. And she goes, I'd love to, but Kristin will understand. We're blocking today.
She is definitely a theater kid, and tell her that I respect her a lot more because
We're blocking.
of that.
We're blocking
I get
today.
it. She's blocking,
Yeah,
Mom.
so
She's busy.
she's in a performance of Honk, and she got cast as Ugly, which is the lead.
It is.
Okay?
It is.
So her question for you was, do you still get nerves? And she goes, I don't know how she's going to say that. How do you cope with the nerves?
For one thing, as an actor or singer, our job is to take those nerves and put them into character. How would your character feel? If I start thinking about Jackie and is she nervous, first of all, tell her this. As right now I'm playing Jackie Siegel, right? That's who I'm married to, is Jackie. So how do I use my nerves? She's never done a documentary movie before.
Wow.
So she's probably nervous. So I put my nerves into the character. But as Kristin, before I walk on stage, obviously I do a vocal and physical warm-up before I come. But when I'm getting my face ready, when I'm doing my makeup, and I'm getting my wig on, I start thinking more and more about her. And then right before I walk out, I do big old box breathing exercises. She'll know, just breathing, and I say a prayer. It doesn't matter to who. For me, it's the Lord. But I talk to my higher power, and I say, please, help me be a vessel. Help me be the vessel of this character. Whether people love her, hate her, admire her, whatever. That's not for me to decide. What my job is to bring her to life.
Yeah.
And it calms me down every time.
Something happens on stage where, like, Jesus takes the wheel.
There's so many wheels in that Jesus has taken.
And I don't do what you do, but on some level, you know, live TV, you bring things to the table and it has to go away so you can do your thing.
Right.
And I've heard you describe it. What is it called? Dr.
Footlights.
Dr. Footlights.
Yes.
When I heard you say that, I got chills around, because I think we can all on some level relate to that. Tell everyone about Dr. Footlights.
Dr. Footlights, whether you're sick, injured, and I have performed most of the time that way. If you do 8 times a week, you're either probably not feeling great or you've got a hurt foot. Today I've got a hurt foot. Could be the neck next week. I think there's something happens when you hit the stage and those lights come up on you, either from the spot or the foot. It's healing. Like all of a sudden you don't feel it. You don't feel the fact that you have herniated discs. You don't feel the fact that a set ran over your foot. You think about the character, the audience, the lights.
Yeah.
It's very, it's just entertainment lore, but it is a fact, and I bet you your daughter understands what I mean.
And I think athletes can relate to that too, right? It's the same thing, like
Adrenaline.
playing hurt, adrenaline. Are you an adrenaline junkie?
I can't believe you just said that. If I have an addiction, it's that.
Yeah.
And I have to...
Same girl.
That's, I know, of course. Of course, what you do for a living. I mean, of course.
Right.
Of course.
Yes.
And I think there are worse things to be, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, and so my question for you is, when you're not getting the adrenaline from performing, where do we get the dopamine hit? Like, where are you finding that?
Sometimes I've been known to create it. I'm like, what can I create on the street? I'll talk to a stranger. And
Like,
just
I
be
create
weird.
a little chaos, I think, in my own world. Like,
Yes,
right?
That's why I'm in therapy. Okay, that's why I'm in therapy. What we have to do as dopamine junkies, we have to be okay with this too. It's the balance.
Yeah.
It's a balance. And you know, for me, I don't know how what works for you, but there's a great philosopher that I love, Rumi, R-U-M-I. And I find myself reading a lot of Rumi. Obviously, you know, I love the Bible. You know, I take what I need from the Bible too, and use that for my life. But those are some tools, and also we have to practice. And this is for anybody out there that understands being a dopamine junkie, adrenaline junkie. You have to practice living in the calm, and that is something that therapy has really helped me with. I can't believe I'm talking about therapy.
I know.
But it's
Well, it
amazing.
always goes back to this, right? Because
You know, I have to just say something to you.
Yeah.
I'm good friends with Kristin Bell. And looking at you and talking to you and the way you act, it's like I keep wanting to say, Kristin, it's so crazy.
I have a funny story for you. So people think I look like Kristen Bell.
Yeah.
But then they get mixed up and
And
they say
they think
Kristin Chenoweth.
Same.
This is like a real
It's weird.
crazy moment,
It
because
is.
I'm sitting with the person that they think I am, but they're actually thinking Kristen Bell, but it's actually me, Maria.
That's so funny.
We could all just be little triplets
We
together.
really could. She would,
I know.
She would love
Oh
you.
my God. We'll have to do that. Thank you so much. You are a joy. Sunshine, roses, glitter, all the things that the people say. And we are so happy you're here in Boston. What would you like to say to the people of Boston to come out and see the show?
I just want to tell you all that we are so proud to be world premiering our show in your city. And I would really like the keys. I would like the keys to this city because it's a good one.